Edge trims, or sometimes referred to as tighten fast, knock-on seals and self-gripping seals, are used to protect the edges on panels, doors and glass. We commonly supply these products for use on caravan doors and boat hatches, as well as large-scale industrial and commercial applications. These products are available in a very large range of sizes, depending on the thickness of the panel edge, which the seal needs to clip over, and the size of the sealing bulb, which is on either the side or the top of the seal, to fill the gap. I'm going to show you a few tricks of how to measure the panel edge, as well as how to measure the size of the gap you need to seal. We're going to look at a way of just measuring it, just with a normal vernier, if you have access to the inside. But if you don't, like in most instances, we're going to look at a way of measuring the gap with BluTack. There are three main types of edge trim. We've got a standard edge trim, an edge trim with side seal, and an edge trim with top seal. All of these products are manufactured with a metal or plastic reinforced self-gripped spine. Unlike other rubber extrusions, this allows the section to hold themselves onto the panel edge without the need for adhesive or mechanical fixings. Side seals and top seals also contain a sponge sealing bulb located on either the side or the top of the seal. This is the part that compresses when the door or cabinet is closed to create a watertight seal. We manufacture all of these products from either PVC or EPDM. The clip is usually manufactured from solid rubber, and the sponge sealing bulb is manufactured from a sponge rubber, as this is the part that needs to compress. Once you have identified the type of edge trim that you require, the next step is to measure the thickness of the panel. This is the edge that the edge trim will clip over. We recommend that you use a vernier, such as this, to get a precise measurement of the thickness of this panel. This will allow you to purchase a product that is large enough to go over the edge, but is not too loose and risks falling off. You should take this measurement in millimeters, as this will allow you to cross-reference your measurement to the products on our website. So if we're going to measure our panel now, it is single skinned, but it does lip back over, so we need to measure it at its widest point. We can see that it measures 2.82 millimeters. So we can then take that measurement, look on our website at sealsdirect.co.uk to find an edge trim such as this, which goes over this thickness. So we've got our ET57, which fits over a 1.5 to 3 mil panel. So it will be a very good fit for our 2.8 mil panel edge. We can then, to fit it, just push it onto the edge, like so. And as it's a good size, it will clip straight over. If your current seal has a sponge sealing bulb located on either the top or the side of the edge trim, you need to try and find a seal of the same type. The purpose of this is to fill the gap between the door and the rest of the enclosure, so you get a watertight seal when the door is closed. The best way to do this is to measure the diameter of the sealing bulb on your current seal. So if we take our vernier and we measure this, looking at 15 by 16, so it's roughly 16 mil in diameter. So then we can try and buy a replacement product of the same size sealing bulb. If the current seal is badly damaged, the best idea is to try and take it and try and squeeze it to resemble a circle the best you can. We do find that when they get squashed, they kind of go like that, so an oval shape. If you can squeeze it until you can make it look like a circle, you can then measure it in what was probably its original form and try and get an accurate measurement. If you don't have the previous rubber, you will need to find a way of measuring the gap which you need to seal. In most instances, this is very difficult because, for example, with this, it's a very small locker, and you'll need to be inside a very small locker and then close the door in order to measure the gap because you can't see or get access to it, which just isn't possible or practical in most cases. There is a workaround though, using a piece of BluTack. So what you can do is you can open the door, stick this on the edge, and then close the door. And when you close the door, it will compress the BluTack to the exact size of the gap. You can then remove the BluTack, use a vernier then to measure the thickness of it. Then you know that is the gap between the door and the frame. So you can then go and buy a replacement seal which adequately seals that gap. To show a closer example, we're going to stick our BluTack onto the panel edge. We can then close the door and push it down until it compresses the BluTack. So we want it to be nice and flush with the frame and the door like it would be if we had a seal fitted. We can then open the door and remove our BluTack, and we can see that it is indented on the bottom and it's indented on the top. So essentially it's squashed it to the size of the gap. If we then take this measurement from the bottom to the top indentation, you can see that it measures just under 15 mil. So we will then need to find a replacement seal which adequately seals a 15 mil gap. You may find that sometimes the BluTack sticks on both surfaces, so you can use something like a talcum powder to put it on the top edge, which will essentially make this non-stick, so it will only stick onto the bottom and it won't stick onto the top. Once you have measured the thickness of the panel edge and the size of the gap that you need to seal, you can look into buying a replacement product. It is worth noting that we recommend compressing sponge seals by approximately a third. So to give a more generalized example, if we have a gap which is 10 mil high, we want to buy a seal with a sponge sealing bulb that is roughly 15 mil in diameter. So when you compress the 15 mil by a third, it goes down to 10 mil, which then happens to be the size of the gap we need to seal. This will reduce the chance of compression set, i.e. damaging the seal over time, and it will create an adequate seal, which reduces the chance of water ingress. Once you've done that and you've identified a replacement product, you can go to fit it onto the edge. So I've got R1 here, which is a side seal. So this will clip over the panel edge and the sponge sealing bulb is on the side. So when the door closes, it compresses it. And you do this just by pushing it over the edge in the same way of when we did the first one over this top edge. That is it fitted. You want to get a nice tight compression fit on the join so that will reduce the chance of water going through this gap. As you can see, when we then close the door, it will compress the seal and we can lock it, and now we've got a nice watertight seal. Thank you for watching. I hope that was a useful video of how to measure the thickness of a panel edge and the size of the gap to identify a replacement edge trim or edge trim with side seal or edge trim with top seal. All of these products are available from our website at sealsdirect.co.uk, and we sell the vast majority of them by the metre. So you can buy 1 or 2 meters, whether it's for a small hatch like this, or we can sell them in large quantities of a couple of thousand meters if you need them for a large scale project. We do have other technical help documents and videos available on our website, which may be useful to look at. Thank you.